Hola y bienvenidos. Welcome to Molé Mama Cooking with Love. We're delighted that you're listening. And I'm so excited about who our guest is today. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to love her. I have Mama Maggie's Kitchen here. She's a cook, a writer, a taste tester, a photographer, and a videographer. And she's a Latina. Her family's from Durango, Mexico, and she has been to I think it's like 22 states or something. So we're going to hear all about her. But anyway, welcome, Maggie. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here with you.
I'm so excited. And we're not that even far away from each other. We're both in San Diego, which is awesome. So
as soon as this is over, we're cooking.
we are so cooking. We are so cooking together, girlfriend. Absolutely. Okay, so I have checked out Mama Maggie's Kitchen. Your website is amazing. Your Instagram feed is so cool. So many amazing Mexican recipes. So how did you start it? How did this get going for you?
Oh boy, that's a story. How much time we got? Oh man, okay. So it actually started in 2009 when my grandmother passed away. And in 2010, I just wanted to hug my grandmother. And of course, that was impossible. Voy a empezar a chillar, okay? So we better not go too much into the story.
Okay.
But I wrote down as many recipes as I could remember. So I started going to my mom and my tias and just anybody who remembered my grandmother. I just wrote them all down. And I needed a place to put them in, I put them on the blog. And when it came down to what I'm going to call it, my mama, and we just happened to be namesakes, okay? She's my tocaya, and I said Maggie, and I somehow became Mama Maggie because it was actually originally her. Because that's what I want. Like, that's my goal with my blog, is to feel like my mom, my grandmother, I'm in their kitchens and they're feeding me, they're cooking for me, or I'm cooking, or we're cooking together, that feeling of just,
Yes.
love and warmth and smells and, chiquillos everywhere running around and, like, traditional Mexican stuff. So that's okay. So yes, that's how it started.
That is beautiful. That's so pretty. I'm sure she's so proud of you. I'm sure she's just like, yay, my nieta. Okay, so now tell me this. So you got it started, you got it going. It sounds like you cooked with her, and I think you even cooked with your mama, right? Can you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
My mom, wait, no. Okay.
No.
My mother did not like me cooking. Te vas a quemar. You're going to burn yourself. Like, that was what she used to tell me. And, she lives with me right now at the moment, right now that we're all quarantined, but she didn't like me cooking. So I would just kind of observe more than anything. But the one thing that my mom did give me was the taste, the flavors, that was our food. But then I would go to Mexico, because I lived in Mexico a few times. But when, I was with my grandmother, and there, todas manos a la obra, you were sitting there cooking and, what are you, hey, come here, come stir, stir, we chop. Oh my gosh, yeah. So that was a totally different story over there. So she's the one who really taught me to cook. She was a big, big baker. Like, she would conchas, pan de muerto, you name it, rosca de reyes, and we made bread, just bolillos, you name it. We made a lot of stuff. But yeah, that was a long time ago. Here, it's kind of hard to bake because it's so. I live in, where we live. We live in San Diego, and it's hot. And
It's hot.
It's so easy to go to like a Northgate and just have the fresh bolillos coming down that are warm, and you're just like, drooling. Oh my gosh, if you ever go to a Northgate or, one of these Mexican markets,
I have.
when the bun is coming out, it's like everyone just flocks over to the bun, and it's just like, yeah, sorry. I'm getting carried away.
Oh, it's awesome. So for our listeners, if you don't know what pan dulce is, it's basically Mexican sweetbread, and it's amazing. And Maggie's sharing with you is when it comes out of the oven, we all flock it in the stores to grab it, right? It's just amazing. It's so delicious.
The best.
It's the best. Okay. So did you have like a favorite thing that you used to make with your grandma? Like a favorite recipe?
I think about this a lot. just a simple bowl of beans with pickled jalapenos, some queso fresco, some freshly made tortillas. Simple and with, oh man, simple, right? So simple. But if I could just go back into her kitchen, just sit there and have my bowl of beans with her. Yeah. Oh man. But her tamales, like we're talking about pork, red pork tamales.
Yeah. That's what my mom used to make too. Okay, so did she make corn tortillas or did she make tortillas de harina? Which ones did she
Both,
make? Both.
both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They were
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah. My
Whatever
mom
she
was.
made, whatever she made was delicious. Everything yeah. We used to see her just like in her kitchen, and it was almost like she was like playing, because, okay, and she just put, and whatever she made, just, yeah.
Now, in my family, and I think but I've heard this, tiene el mano, like she had the hand, it's the flavor, and that's how my mother was too. She could take anything and make it taste amazing. Like it was like, oh my gosh. So I can relate.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, but I think for me, like to have my mama's flour tortillas again, that's the thing. I've never found tortillas. I've almost duplicated her recipe now, but mine are not as good as hers. So I'm like, but
you know what
just
it is? You know what it is? It's just practice though, because it really is just practice. I mean, I've made flour tortillas a bazillion times. And then there are times when I won't cook. I was in school, or I don't know, I went away and I stopped cooking for a little while. And then I tried to make them again. And I was like, why isn't they're not coming out? And it really is just practice. I figured if you stop doing something, you know what I mean?
I agree with that, but there's like I have practiced now quite a bit, but I'm like, they're not hers. So I'm like, and maybe it's part of me just being like, you know what, her hands were not in that flour. So
Yeah,
maybe that's
I
what it
understand
is.
that.
Yeah. Okay, so you were born in the U.S., but your family, like you mentioned, is from Durango, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, in Mexico. But you love to travel, woman. You've been all over Mexico. It's like 22 states you've been in now.
I've traveled a lot in Mexico. So I was born here, and my parents, like I said, my dad, or I don't know if I said that yet, but my dad lives in Durango, in the city of Durango. That's where we're from. I had my quinceañera in Durango. Like I have deep, deep roots in the state. Love it, love it. It's the northern state, and as a kid, we used to drive. I'm from LA originally, so we would drive from LA to Durango. It was a 2-day trip, so we would cross over to Texas, go down through Chihuahua into Durango, and yeah, those were long trips. And yeah, so I lived in Durango, but my tia is very near and dear to me. She's my mom's sister, and she is from Durango, but she married someone who is a professor at the university in Tabasco in Villahermosa. So I lived with her for a while after I finished high school. And Tabasco, now that was a long time ago, and that's really when I did most of my traveling, because living in Villahermosa, it's a southern state on the Gulf of Mexico, south of Veracruz, and right before you get to the Yucatan Peninsula. And every weekend we were going somewhere, Chiapas, Veracruz, Campeche, you name it. We were all over that area. And Mexico City, she also has a house in Mexico City. So around Mexico, we would go from Mexico City down to Tabasco. So when we would do that, of course, there are the towns that are around there. There's Guerrero, Aguascalientes, all that area, Puebla. I mean, I traveled. And was it last year? No, it was the year before. My husband, okay, so right now living on the border, I go back and forth. Well not right now. It's like,
Right.
Yeah. But they threw away the key, and I'm like, no, open my border. But anyway, so we go back and forth a lot. My husband and I want to say it was almost 2 years now that we did a trip. Okay, now check this out, okay? We went from Coronado Island to Coronado Island in Baja California Sur. It took us days to get there. And we're talking about cell phone gone, no electricity. Like it was quite the adventure, but I loved every second of it. My husband too was like life changing. I touched whales. There are
Wow.
there's an area, and I can talk about little tiny towns because I live and breathe for this stuff. There's a little tiny town called Guerrero Negro in Baja California Sur, and that's where whales come from Alaska. They're actually there now. They're there now, and they're breaching. So they're having their babies. They're in this little lagoon
Oh my
because the
goodness.
waters are warmer. And we were out there for like 4 hours just playing with whales. It was unreal, unreal. I had a whale like look at me. The food. Oh my god. I mean, think about how fresh the food. I mean, Tabasco. I love you guys. I love Tabasco. I do. I do. But Baja California has the best seafood. And
It
we're talking
does.
fresh
I
seafood.
agree. Yeah, I've been there. It's amazing.
Okay, sorry, I can keep talking about all
No, it's good. Please
this.
do, because our listeners need to know this because the seafood is so, like you said, it's just out of this world. It's like, and I've lived in Alaska. I lived in Anchorage for almost 4 years. So I've had seafood there too. So, and that's pretty bomb. But yeah,
I would love to go to. I love to travel. I obviously love to travel, but my thing, my passion is authentic Mexican food. Obviously, you can see my blog.
yes. But you
Um,
have great stuff on there about travel too. So I want to make sure our listeners know about that, that you're not just sharing that with us right now. It's also on your blog.
yeah, the website really did. I mean, and what I've been coming out with lately is, and that's actually how I develop most of my recipes is, okay, my trips, what did I taste on this trip? Like there with Baja, for example, it's like, okay, there's the shrimp cocktails. There are, oh yeah, the tacos gobernador, which is, well, it's not from that area, but I mean, they were just so good. There are so many things that I tasted in these different trips, and that's what I want to put out, because one of the things that I realized, especially with my family being from Durango, and there are so many people in from Durango in this in the United States, and they're looking for our recipes, and there are regional differences,
Hmm.
so many regional differences, and there are foods that are just straight up Durango, straight up Baja California, and I want to bring them out. I want people to know how to make them. Maybe they lost the language, they don't speak Spanish, and I do a lot of translating. Okay, so how do you make this? Okay, let me translate this into English so I can share this with people.
That is wonderful. I didn't mention when we started, but the way I found you is because somebody that reached out to me and I was talking to about one of the recipes they were trying to recreate from their family. And I asked who they like, and they said they mentioned you because I didn't know about you yet. And they said that they love following you because your recipes are so easy to follow, even for somebody who's not a chef. So it's like, yes. So I'm so glad that we connected. But yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, a big heart. Love that. Seriously, you made my day just by hearing that, because I like, so my tagline, my elevator pitch is that I create easy and authentic Mexican recipes for the home cook. And for me, I really don't think Mexican food is hard. I think people have this weird idea in their head where they think it's hard. So I would say the majority of my recipes have step by step pictures, if not a video, or send me a message and I'm happy to answer how to do this, because it's really not hard. Here, this is how you work a chili. This is how you do that. And usually I create little collages on how to work with dried chilies. And, you know, it's almost, and like I said, it's a passion of mine for, this, just bringing that here and preserving our culture, because so many people are intimidated by, some of the things that you hear, or maybe they don't speak the language. And, preserving such a beautiful tradition that is so, yeah, so much a big part of me and, my family. Even my husband learned Spanish. Did I tell you
Oh,
this?
that's awesome. So, no, I think it's fantastic. It's really fantastic. And what you're saying is that there's so much connection that happens around food, and that's so. Anyway, I'm right with you. I love it, and I love that your husband learned Spanish. That's so cool.
Yeah, he kind of had to.
Well, let's talk about that because I wanted to know, because you grew up you grew up cooking with your grandma and around your mom and all this great and authentic Mexican food. And when you married somebody who wasn't Mexican and now it's your child, have you found that your cooking has changed?
No.
No.
What's interesting? So my son is a redhead ginger. If you looked at him, you'd never guess that he speaks Spanish. And I've been speaking to him since he came out. I was like, "Hola, mijito,"
That's awesome.
So my husband kind of had to learn. And he loves to travel as much as I do. So, of course, he had to, pick up the language. And also, my dad speaks a little bit of English. He does speak English. He does speak English, but it's not, oh gosh, I hope he never sees my video. But it's not the best. And, he wanted to communicate with my dad and just the going back and forth. And he goes by himself. My husband, here's another thing about my husband. So I'm first generation Mexican American. My husband is first generation German American. And yeah, his mother lived through the war, like Nazi Germany and the whole thing.
Wow.
So he knows how important it is for me, or how important it is also for him to preserve our cultures and our identities. And I do occasionally I'll make him some authentic German dishes because I know that, it's important for him too. But yeah, no, he learned, he really has learned a lot. Like he can tell you different chilies, what they're about, where they came from, how they're processed. Like
it's fantastic.
Like I was telling you, he made cajeta. He's that cajeta picture. Those of you who know my blog and have seen the cajeta, he actually made it. I told him, I said, "Hey, I don't want to stir anymore." He's like, no, no te preocupes, don't worry, I'll get there. So he sat there and he stirred and he stirred and he stirred.
Okay, let me translate for my non-Latino listeners. Cajeta is like homemade caramel. That's right. It's homemade caramel, and it's insanely good. It's so good.
Yeah, the only difference with it is a Mexican caramel, but it's made out of goat's milk. That's the only difference. That's good.
Okay. And her hubby made it, which is amazing. Just crazy awesome. All right. So that is really sweet that he has learned and he appreciates your culture so much. And likewise, that's such a beautiful thing. I feel like my husband is also not Latino. And when he went to the store and finally could bring home good aguacates, good avocados, and he brought me home cilantro versus parsley because that was a big thing. He could not get the parsley. So I was like, "Honey, you graduated. Yay." He picks great avocados and he knows cilantro now. So
big thumbs up to that.
It took him a long time, but it's good. All right. So you were talking about developing recipes and you use travel. So can you go into that a little bit more and about some of the regions? Because I know like the Yucatan Peninsula, the Mexican food there is so different than like my roots are from Jalisco. So really different.
Yeah. So again, Durango, if you don't know Durango, it's like sombreros. Oh, sorry. Just, pickup trucks and cowboys and just, machos. And,
Awesome.
And yeah, but I also lived in Villahermosa, and Villahermosa, Tabasco is, monkeys and bananas and jungle, native jaguars, okay? Jaguars are native to think jungle, okay? So totally different areas. And yeah, the food is totally different. And there are tons of rivers that cross Tabasco, so you have different seafood. And which is interesting because the shrimp cocktail that you'll find in Tabasco are totally different than the one that you might find in Baja, even though they have the same name for it, But yeah, the Yucatan. Yes, I've been to the Yucatan. Merida is unbelievable. The colors and also the just the people, the way people are. They're in southern Mexico, or it's just very lively. It's relajado is the word I want to use. Relax. It's a very relaxed, easy kind. I wonder if it's the weather. Oh gosh, the weather's terrible for me because I'm used to perfect weather in San Diego, but it really is humid. So humid.
It's so humid. I was there in July once. What a mistake.
Yeah, my hair. Imagine my hair in 100% humidity. It's like,
and it's so hot. Oh,
so there are the problem that I find is, there are things that are in southern Mexico, like certain ingredients, you just don't find here. You just don't find it. Even in Baja, me going back and forth, I can't find it there. I've I'm like, please send me this. And, I've learned a lot of those dishes, or, I have my Thea who will send me a picture of her dishes, and it's like, I want to recreate that. And there are challenges with that. But yeah, so finding like maybe there's a banana dish or there's a banana smoothie thing that I want to make, and that I remember from some of my travels, and it's like, okay, and then I bring it here and I work with it. I usually, for the most part, I will test a recipe minimum 3 to 4 times, minimum. You can't go wrong. And if somebody tells me that's wrong, I get really upset. I'm like, no, tell me no, not so, because, I'll run it back into the kitchen like that minute and remake it, Okay, please don't do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's horrifying. And I actually made a mistake on one of my Spanish rice on YouTube, because I was trying to put like the amount of liquid that you need, and I I forgot to say that it has to be 6 cups maximum with your tomato sauce. And so people are like, what's wrong with this? And I'm like, oh no, what did I do? So I went through all the directions. I'm like, oh no, Diana. So yeah.
Mexican food. Mexicans are very passionate about Mexican food.
Yes.
We are very, very we are very passionate about football.
Yes. Yes.
Family and our food. We are it's the center of so many things, it's you sit down, you eat, you talk to people. That's what we do.
It's how we show our love. I'm convinced of it. It's like with food. We definitely do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So tell me this, because you have all these recipes on your blog. What's like one of the most popular ones?
The one I'm about to do.
Really?
Nicely clean kitchen.
Oh boy.
I'm about to destroy it. No, my number one top post is birria de res. And
really?
it is a Mexican beef stew. And I remember it because my grandfather, that was his favorite dish. So whenever we would go visit him, we would go and eat birria de chivo, which is goat. And we don't really have goat around here. So I changed the recipe to use beef instead. And when I wrote it, I got to tell you, I had no idea how popular it was going to be. People love birria, and especially here in
I do
Baja.
too, but I've never had it out of beef.
Oh, it's delicious. Oh, it's so yummy. The sauce, it's a savory chili. It's got cinnamon. It's got tomillo is thyme. It's got thyme. It's got just all these flavors, and it's not spicy. It's robust. It's a very deep, very, flavorful broth with meat that's been simmering, right? But I'm making it the Instant Pot today. So
awesome.
And the only reason I'm doing it today is because this is the 4th time I'm testing the Instant Pot recipe, so I can change it on the blog.
That's awesome.
I've made it several times in the Instant Pot, and I have it down. I know I do. This is more just just last stamp before I just update the blog post and add the Instant Pot instructions. Usually I make it on the stove and it's simmering forever, or in the slow cooker, which is probably my favorite, because in the slow cooker, it just smells like the whole house is like.
Okay. All right. That sounds amazing. I wish I could come over for dinner, but some other time.
I leave a taco outside.
Yes, please. Leave me a little taquito. All right. So from, being able to tell me that, as far as that's what you're cooking today, and you already told me about your grandmother's beans, and that's a favorite thing, but any other favorite thing that's your favorite, Maggie?
Ooh, yeah. I didn't even think about this one. What's one of my it's one of my favorites.
Your favorites.
God, that's hard. Geez, I don't know. I mean, I really do. I love my food. Gosh, it sounds terrible.
I'm the same way with my food. My husband always says that. He goes, why do you love your food? And I go, because I do. I love my food.
I really enjoy, I love shrimp dishes and cheeses. I love queso fresco. Just queso fresco with a tortilla, like a corn tortilla with some freshly made, of course. Just some salt and queso fresco rolled up, and just that bite is so perfect. Oh, but I mean tamales. You can't go wrong with tamales. Menudo. I cook a lot, really. And to just recently I was making pozole like every week, and at one point it dawned on me, I was like, do I even have this on my website? I'm like, oh wait, I don't. Let me add this. So I recently changed up one of my recipes just to add more pictures to it. That's something that I do often. I constantly am updating my blog posts. So
That's awesome. Okay, pozole. How can you go wrong with pozole every week? Oh my God, I love pozole. I love it. And I saw that didn't you make tamales for Easter?
I did.
Oh my gosh. I saw that picture and I'm like, oh, really? Easter? It's fantastic.
I'm making for Mother's Day.
Oh no. Oh no.
My mom is on a really special diet. So there are only certain things that she can eat. And that's why I was making pozole so much, because she liked it and it was easy.
Mm-hmm.
It really is easy to make pozole.
It is.
But anyways, yeah, we have Mother's Day. We're going to have a really good Mother's Day. More tamales. No, I'm just kidding.
That's awesome. Okay. So you've been doing the blog now for, several years. What's been one of the biggest surprises of starting Mama Maggie's Kitchen? What has been shocking to you?
The constant changes. There's a love and hate here. I'm really nerdy. I really enjoy learning new things. But there are so many changes. Facebook does something. There's a new, or Instagram does something. Pinterest here, and you're constantly having to learn all the different things because you are the boss of. You're the captain of that ship. So you have to learn what the changes are. And I just didn't expect so many changes. I mean, we're talking, there could be a change right now.
Yes, there could be.
You have to know who to call to say help.
What's been one of the biggest joys?
My peeps. I love every single one of my followers. I just love talking to them. Instagram, I think I've tried to at least, to every single one of my people who've commented or questioned or send me just a direct message. I'm like, I appreciate them so, so much because I didn't really know when I first started. I mean, we're talking almost 10 years this year. We're hitting 10 years. I didn't know that there were people like me who wanted these recipes, who were interested in these recipes, like I was talking about, Durangueños, out here and, living in el extranjero, who wanted these recipes. I had no idea that people wanted them. Originally, and one of my other goals in just writing down my grandmother's recipes was something for my son. I wanted my son to, he used to really cook with me, and right now it's like, andale, vamos, and he's like, oh, it's like, pull deep, go.
But he'll come back to it. He will.
I espero. But you know what? I'm writing these recipes in hopes that one day he will actually cook them,
Yeah.
So I think about that a lot, when I'm writing recipes, even if nobody's looking for them. Okay, but you know what? That's for my son right there. You take that one. And what's funny is that in writing for my son, I have found people who really do want these recipes. It's like, oh, my abuelita made that recipe. I want that recipe. Thank you so much. And and me, okay, again, I've traveled extensively, little pueblitos. I've been to a lot of little towns, and people will be like, yeah, I'm from Veracruz, I'm from such and such town. And it's just like, yeah, I've been there. And they're like, what? So,
that's awesome.
And just making that connection with them. Or I think a lot of people don't realize that, I am a native Spanish speaker. So, I speak Spanish.
Okay, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you if you've ever been to my grandmother's little pueblito.
Where?
It's in Jalisco, and It's called San Nicolas de Ibarra, and it's near Lake Chapala.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Have you been to Lake Chapala?
No, but I know where you're at. I know where
Okay, that is you need to go there. It's beautiful.
Let's go.
So pretty. It's really, really pretty. Such
have passport, we'll travel.
Me too. Okay. So you've been at it for almost 10 years. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thanks.
I'm sure you've made so many people happy by sharing these recipes. So tell me this, for somebody that might be thinking about starting a business today, what advice would you have for them?
Don't do it.
Really?
I'm half kidding and half being serious. My advice, because I get asked this a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to start a blog. How do you do this? In fact, gosh, today, like right before we were getting on, I had the same question by a friend who, was just like, yeah, but let me explain to you why I say don't do it yet. So I should have started with that one, huh?
Yes.
So what I mean is, if you want to start a blog or if you want to start an online business, go help someone who is in that industry, who does it, who has a successful blog. Like I have people who work with me. It's not just me. I have people. I have people with me, and those people. I could not do what I do without them, and that in itself, maybe you're good at Instagram. You know what I mean? Go offer to help them manage their Instagram account, or maybe you're good at editing photos. I hate editing photos, but I do it anyway. I could use some help there. And, maybe you can go and help someone edit pictures. And even just that little bit will give you an insight to what they do and how they do it. And maybe you might find a niche there for yourself and build business there. Most people don't realize that, so most people don't know how to make money online. Most people don't realize because they just know that people do it. And they just don't know. And there are so many different things that you can do in there that you might thrive in. Maybe you can be that next Instagram expert who's just amazing. You get a bunch of clients from that. Maybe it's not blogging. But yeah, maybe it is blogging, or maybe it is, I don't know, whatever it is. But there are so many, just so many things within my business that could even be a business within itself.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that's really wise advice to basically let somebody just test it out and try it and learn a little bit. I think it's very, very wise advice. So thank you for sharing that with our listeners, Maggie. Okay. So we are almost out of time. So before we go, because it's been so much fun, I probably could spend the whole afternoon just talking to you about food and where you travel to. So tell me, is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners?
Please check out my recipes at Mam Maggies Kitchen everywhere. It's Mama as in Mamá in Spanish. And if you have any questions, I'm here. I'm happy to answer questions or suggestions, or if you're looking for a recipe, or if it's super authentic and you want to share it with me. I can do it.
That's awesome. All right. It was a delight to talk to you. Continued success, amiga. And I can't wait till we get to cook together. That's going to be so much fun. I know it. And I know I'm going to love your food. I'm looking forward to it. And for our listeners, thank you so much for joining us today, Molé Mama, Cooking with Love. And as my mama always said to me as we said our goodbyes, que Dios te bendiga. May God bless you. Remember to add the most important ingredient to every recipe you make, your love.